Fish on! Oh, whatever it is, it's big.
In one of the most remote, predator-filled rivers on the planet,
Pulling line, it's running away.
lurks the freakiest fish I've ever heard about. The vampire fish.
Pyara, Pyara!
Known locally as Pyara, it hunts like a great white shark and jumps like a giant tarpon.
Almost jumped into the boat.
But that's not all.
All I saw were those teeth.
It has terrifying razor-sharp teeth, up to 6 inches long. I'm heading into the heart of Guyana, South America,
It's moving its head.
to find out why this fish has some of the most frightening fangs on Earth.
Still has a lot of strength. The Pyara looks like a creature out of a bad dream. It's one of the most unusual, scariest fish I've ever seen.
It has huge eyes, positioned high on its head like a great white shark, a body like a bullet, and weapons like a samurai. It's those fangs. Snakes have fangs to inject venom, but what does the Pyara use them for?
To get some answers, I need to catch one. So I'm headed into the wilderness, cut off from civilization, to an area that's known for some of the most dangerous aquatic predators on Earth.
Jungle makes up almost 80% of Guyana's landmass, and it's home to over 200 species of mammals. I'm going to be traveling up the Rewa River, a river that cuts through 200 miles of some of the most remote jungle on Earth. There are a bunch of predators lurking in this river. Black caiman, piranha, peacock bass, electric eel, and some of the largest catfish on Earth. But few are as aggressive as the Pyara. This stealthy warrior uses camouflage to ambush prey in fast-flowing water or deep pools. It will attack just about any fish, even species up to half its length. Flip open its mouth 180 degrees and impale its prey on saber-like teeth.
Well, this is it. Everything we need for 2 weeks on the river.
I'm out with Ashley Holland and his team of fishing guides.
Ashley is one of the very few people who has fished this remote stretch of river.
Up around these rocks is normally pretty good.
Pyara will congregate in one of two areas, fast-flowing water or deep pools. We found some deep water, so I'm going to try this first. I'm fishing with rod and reel, using very strong line. Ashley's using a tried and true local method, hand line. As soon as he or I feel a fish, we'll try to set the hook.
Almost as soon as I cast out my line, I get a strike.
Got something. Whatever it is, it's fighting hard. Fish on, got one. Wow, it's really shaking its head back and forth. Yep. Jumping, it's fighting. Whoa, awesome. Peacock bass. So you can see when he jumps, he's trying to spit the hook, and you see how wide that mouth opens up. Oh man, peacock bass. That gets its name from that spot on its tail, similar to the spots on a male peacock. You shouldn't be fooled by their small size or their pretty appearance. Believe it or not, these peacock bass, they're predators and they absolutely dominate in the shallows during the daytime. But unlike Pyara, they don't really have any teeth. They just have these gripping pads along their upper and lower jaw. They hunt by swallowing their prey whole. Got something. Fish on. Oh, it's pulling. It feels big. It's really shaking its head back and forth. It's pulling a lot of line. Oh, it's making a run away from the boat. Man, whatever that is, when it first hit, it hit hard and it's running now. It's big, it's strong, and I'm having a hard time controlling it. This could be a Payara. I just saw bubbles coming up. About to get a look at it. Whoa, whoa.
If it is a Payara, it's the biggest Payara anyone's ever caught. So I'm thinking record-breaking Payara or something else.
Oh, no, it's right here. About to see what it is here. Woo! Well done. It's a beautiful fish, striking color pattern. I'm gonna take it to the shore to get a closer look.
It's a Surubim catfish, and I'm gonna see how this predator matches up to the Payara.
How big do these catfish get? Probably up to about 35 pounds, so about 3 times as big as this.
A fish like this, it's using its size, its strength to overpower smaller fish when it's feeding.
They're super fast, and I think they literally rush down prey and I can just swallow them whole, suck them in and swallow them whole.
Surubim catfish search out prey with sensitive feelers called barbels. They have gripping pads along their upper and lower jaws that they use to grab prey, similar to the peacock bass I just caught. Surubim, they're strong fish, but they use speed as well as strength. And they'll hunt in the shallows as well as deep water. It's a little bit more active than your average catfish.
I compare this to a fish like Payara, and the Payara has a lot of these same attributes, but it also has huge teeth.
This doesn't add up. What does it need them for?
In some ways, Payara, it seems like overkill, doesn't it?
Maybe the Payara is just it's a samurai amongst the warriors here. It's just better armed. It has teeth and it has all these physical skills.
It seems like somehow it's just one step above.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen other predators here feed without teeth, I'm even more curious about why the Payara have such giant fangs. But they are not alone. They're part of a group of nearly 1,700 fish species called characiforms that are defined by their sharp, piercing teeth. Believe it or not, the Payara is related to the Goliath tigerfish in Africa. Another fish that's famous for its huge teeth. But when it comes to tooth size, no fish that I've ever heard of can compete with the Payara.
I'm just moving the hook up and down, the bait up and down, try to bounce it on top of whatever's down there. Got a bite, something hit it. So something's tapping it. Feel that tap, 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 tap. So something's obviously found the bait, it's hitting it. It's got something on the line. I'm not sure what I have. Swimming under the boat. Oh, there, big run, big run. It's pulling line. Oh, whatever it is, it's big. Payara. Ah. Lost the fish. And I must not have set the hook hard enough. It jumped out of the water. The fish will shake their head. It shook its head and it spit the hook. Shoot, that was it. Almost had it. There's just something about losing a fish that's frustrating in and of itself, and then to lose my first Payara is really, it's really disappointing. If I'm gonna land one of these fish, I need a new approach. Are there any tricks to catching Payara?
You have to have a sharp hook to penetrate into the mouth and give it a good strike. And the hook hasn't set properly, they may fling the hook out. So we usually find that for every one that we catch, we lose 3 or 4.
You ever had one jump in the boat?
I've never had one jump in the boat, but we've had them come pretty close and they jump and sort of hit the sides of the boat.
Have to remember not to
lean over too much.
Lean over, yeah.
You'll see people keep their hands inside, especially when the fish is coming close. They will jump up.
The Payara's fangs remind me of two swords. If I pull a Payara up, it jumps. I could get a very nasty bite. If I get a Payara, I need to be more careful about setting the hook. And I need to be prepared to get out of the way of those teeth.
Feel something, just tapping it. Fishing in a place like this, you never know. Got a fish, got a fish. It's going under the boat, pulling pretty hard. Oh, it feels like a good sized fish. Just I can feel it shaking its head. Ah, lost everything. I'm pretty sure that was a piranha. There are black piranha in. Let's get it back in the river.
Now that I've caught a Payara, I've had a chance to see some of its most defining features up close. Teeth like swords, big eyes. But I'm still no closer to understanding why it needs these attributes, while other predators here who eat the same prey don't. It's getting late. We look for a safe place to camp. Locals rarely come up this far, so wildlife isn't used to seeing humans. The amount of wildlife we're seeing on the riverbanks, river otters around every bend, black caiman, dwarf caiman, tapir. I've never seen wildlife like this before in my life. With caiman lurking nearby, I'll have to be careful. Large adults can attack humans. But their presence here is a good sign. Somewhere as wild as this could be a hotspot for apex predators like the Payara.
This is camp for the next few days. Kitchen's out by the beach. The toilet's in the jungle back there. And these are the sleeping quarters. The rest of the crew's in hammocks. I feel more comfortable in the tent. We're so remote out here that we brought everything we need. But hopefully that isolation will mean good fishing.
One of our guides left a line out overnight and got a lucky catch.
You catch it this morning? Nice fish.
Now I can dig a bit deeper into the mysteries that surround this fish. This is an opportunity for me to get a closer look. I mean, very close look. Get my hands on the fish's jaw. Get my fingers in the fish's mouth. I could not do that with a live fish. The fish would bite me. The tongue on these fish is absolutely incredible. Look at the size of the Payara's tongue. It's about half the size of its head. And this tongue also serves an important purpose. Payara are able to swallow very large prey, up to a third of the length of the Payara itself. So the Payara uses its huge tongue to actually maneuver the prey off of the teeth, sometimes flipping the prey around so the fish can swallow it whole. Look at this. This is pretty cool. This is a dried Payara head, and the teeth really stand out. Now I can see the mechanics of how this mouth works. You can really see how the fangs on the lower jaw come out, protrude out of the top of the fish's head. These incredible cavities mean the Payara can completely close its mouth to stay as streamlined as possible for maximum speed before it attacks. And speed gives me a clue. I've been so focused on the head and the teeth of the Payara that I haven't taken time to look at the entire body. And now that I'm looking at the fish's whole body, I'm noticing a lot of other important traits. First, I notice how streamlined and slender the fish is. This narrow body allows the fish to move through rough and turbulent water. The Payara has large wing-like pectoral fins on the side of its body. So you can imagine this fish moving through the mid-water, sometimes turbulent water, using the pectoral fins to stabilize itself. Ultimately, these clues mean that this fish could be best suited to hunt in fast, turbulent water. The place where we've set up camp, it looks like a good fishing spot to me, and I'm going to take advantage of the fact that we're camping here to give fishing at night a try. While I'm fishing, I want to try out my theory on the team. Forget about the teeth for a second. What else can we learn about Payara by looking at the rest of its body?
To me, they look a little bit like salmon shaped, don't they? In some way, although they're flatter, I think. And they have that big tail, which obviously gives them a lot of propulsion. Looks like they can deal with fast-flowing water.
Is there anywhere like that here?
Corona Falls is a good example. That is a waterfall, and the fish will go up the rivers to the base of these waterfalls and congregate in these areas.
Thinking about the way that the Payara is built, it makes sense that the Payara would be hanging out in the turbulent, bubbly, fast-flowing water below a waterfall. The perfect environment for all the Payara's attributes to come together. Waterfalls create barriers in the river, places where fish congregate. If I'm right, in this extreme environment, the Payara could be the top predator and grow to giant sizes. These falls could reveal all this fish's secrets. And that's where I want to try next. Fish. Fish on! Got something. Fish on! Oh, he's pulling line. Oh, he's making a big run. Straight out. Still on. This is big. He's making another run. And I'm using a large reel with the drag set very tight. That means a smaller fish couldn't even pull a single inch of line off of my reel. But whatever this fish is, it makes a huge run. Really strong. Oh, there we go. Another run. Straight away. Oh, feels like whatever it is, it's hugging the bottom. Whatever this is, feels really big. And I can feel, oh, another run. I'm just trying to let the rod do some of the work. Slowly coming closer. It's about 30 yards out. There it goes. Arms are burning. It's slowly coming in now. Oh, there's bubbles. I see a silhouette. I see a shadow. I see a white stripe. I see the fish. It's a big, big catfish. Red tail catfish. That's a big fish. This is the first time that I've ever caught a wild red tail catfish on rod and reel. And this is a nice fish. Here, Ashley, could you take the rod? Thank you. Nice fish. Look at that. Oh. Man, what a cool fish. Right now, it's feeling a little defensive. It's feeling threatened. And when they feel threatened, they'll make that grunting noise. Look at this thing. This catfish, it's a beast. Very, very strong fish. This thing probably weighs 45 or 50 pounds. And believe it or not, these things can grow to over 120 pounds. Oh. Yeah, you can see this catfish, completely different fish than a Payara. Payara, long and slender, very big mouth, very sharp teeth. The catfish, these catfish, it does have a large mouth, but no sharp teeth. They're just pads inside the fish's mouth, and if it shuts its mouth right now, it'll hurt like a hammer coming down when it closes its mouth. And so as it's moving along the river bottom, it's swimming along, sensing out prey, and then it'll grip onto anything that it finds with this very powerful mouth and crushing pads of teeth. They rule the river bottom at night, using their long whiskers or barbels, rather than sight to sense prey, and then sheer mass to overcome it. All of these big predators have their role to play, and they each play it in a different way. The red-tailed catfish is big, it's like a sumo wrestler. You know, he doesn't move very fast, but when he does, he knocks you out. Tigerfish is like a middleweight boxer, a combination of strength and speed. Peacock bass hunts in packs, can be a little bit of a bully. But the Payara stands out from the gang. Enhanced eyesight and a set of deadly weapons make it an elite fighter. The Payara reminds me of a samurai, and this samurai thrives on speed. actually knows of some waterfalls that are upstream in a very remote area. It could be difficult to get there, but I have a feeling that those falls hold the key to why the Payara looks the way it does. If I can just get there and find a big Payara, it could answer everything I came here to find out. But a 20-foot predator stops us in our tracks.
Hey, watch. Go down here.
What do you see?
Look, there's a big anaconda down there.
A big one, huh? Is it safe to get close?
Yeah, we can go fairly close. We won't go right up to it. But...
Here, why don't you go first? Fish aren't the only aquatic predators in this river. Right below me is an anaconda. Anaconda can grow to over 20 feet long, but it's not the length of this snake that's impressive. It's the girth. This is a big snake. I'm a little nervous being so close to the anaconda. I don't know much about anaconda, but I do know anaconda can move very quickly when they want to. I know it's a predator. I know it's capable of taking on large prey, my size prey. It kills by constricting its huge body around prey, suffocating the prey, and then swallowing prey head first, a lot like a Payara. Never been this close to such a large snake before. And I think if it wasn't sitting absolutely still right now, I'd be freaking out. It's moving. It's moving its head. It's headed down towards the water. Big.
Left it. Let me see where it goes. You'll go by yourself. Watch. Move it there.
Whoa.
There, boy. You're frightening someone.
Whoa!
Can't bite me.
The anaconda moved off to the water and it headed right for the crew. Wait.
What's that say?
Holy just saw people scattering everywhere. Whoa! Holy that was amazing. We didn't really know where it was going to go, but it kind of came towards everybody. We didn't really think it. We thought it would choose to go away from us, but it didn't. It was pandemonium. It's time to keep moving upstream to find a big Payara and see if fast-flowing water will reveal why the fish look so extreme. As I travel upriver, the river starts to change. It gets smaller. The river becomes wilder, the jungle denser. We get to a rapid that's so rough we can't drive up it.
What's gonna happen when those guys come? We can give them this long rope. They're gonna go up here, right?
Okay, well, why don't I go upstream and I'll help pull the boat?
Yeah, that'd be.
Should I jump off? This is the first major rapid that we've come to. It's going to be hard to drive the boats up it, so we're tying them off the rope, forming a line, and pulling the boats up one by one. We don't want to lose what's in any of these boats. This has all our fuel, all our food, medical supplies. We need to be very careful. Ready? Oh!
Okay, got it. Good. Right up to there. Good. Perfect.
And then around behind?
Yep. So we just pull it back this way.
Pull. Pull. Finally, we make it across, and we reach our destination, Corona Falls. When I see the falls, it makes the whole trip worth it. Corona Falls has a vertical drop of 20 feet. and extremely fast-flowing water swirling into deep pools. This could be the ultimate combination and could open up the Payara's secrets. In the dry season, waterfalls like these act as natural barriers to anything moving upstream. Fish congregate in the deep pools below. This could be the perfect place to find a big Payara.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, one of my favorite places. This here is a good pool, so we should give it a try here and see what we can get.
Directly below the falls, it's like a washing machine. It's like a tornado. The water's spinning. It's bubbling up. It's being sucked down. It's being pushed up. It's difficult to see. All of the Payara's attributes will make sense here. It needs them, not just to survive, but thrive in this extreme environment. Catching a Payara at this spot will be the final piece in the puzzle of the mystery of why the Payara looks as freaky as it does. If I do hook into a big Payara in this kind of environment, and they take off running in this current, it's going to be very difficult to bring in. I cast into the white water, and my bait is swept into a deep pool. I'm hoping that the Payara lurking in the turbulence spotted it. Something. Oh, fish on. Oh, whatever it is, it's big. It is a big fish. This is the biggest thing I've hooked into so far. Oh, and it's running downstream. It can use the current. Oh, man, it's taking off. It's using the current to its advantage. I can feel its weight. I feel its strength. It's running away from me. Feels like I'm reeling in a sack of cement. It's been on the line now for about 10 minutes. It's still making runs. Oh, there, another big run downstream. My arms are burning. Oh, there it goes again. Oh. It's actually moving, swimming upstream now. I have to be careful. You can see how sharp the rocks are around here. The line I'm using is strong, but it doesn't do well. If it rubs up against a rock, I'll lose this fish. I'm trying to muscle this fish, but it's muscling me. Nice. Holy. Oh, big red tail catfish. Oh, shoot. This is the biggest red-tailed catfish that I've ever seen. Look at the head. Red-tailed catfish, when they get big, they don't get longer, they get wider, they get heavier. Oh, and this guy's a monster. Yeah, do you want to try to grab it? Yeah, I'll bring it closer to you when Rob's ready. Okay, I'm going to back up, try to bring the fish closer to shore. Nash is going to grab its tail.
Close to 100 pounds, my friend.
Oh, man. Holy sh**. Yeah, just gonna get a closer look. This is a true monster catfish. A massive red-tailed catfish. The largest red-tailed catfish I've ever seen. This is right up there with the biggest red tails that I've ever heard about. Look at the size of its body. It's probably 5 feet long with this huge, massive head, huge bony plates along its back. I would guess that this catfish is pushing 100 pounds. How heavy do you think this fish is, actually?
I think there's 100 pounds. It feels like a bag of cement. I used to be a builder, so I know what a bag of cement feels like.
It's like... This is a pretty good size one.
Yeah, this would rank as probably the top 5 biggest red tails that I've seen.
Top 5 biggest. How many red tails have you seen?
Thousands. Yeah, thousands.
Holy
This is a very nice fish.
I'm here to catch Payara, but I have to be honest, this is one of the best catches of my life. This is, it's really exciting for me. I love catfish, and this is one of the most beautiful catfish I've ever seen. You know, this is a great environment for Payara, fast-flowing water, rapids, waterfall, but there's a deep pool here, and that waterfall is functioning as a barrier. I mean, there's no way a fish like this can get up those falls. If this area can support a big predator like a red tail, it can definitely support a big Payara as well. So let this guy go.
Yep, time for it to go home.
See you later, buddy.
Hai chuỗi á, cho nên là cài cái này bữa cưới á nha.
The next morning, I get up early and try fishing below the falls
Không
again.
mà chụp ảnh riêng chứ. Chụp ảnh riêng, không có trong quay đâu, quay
In
riêng
the
á.
deep water right below the falls. The water is still turbulent here, lots of bubbles, perfect Payara habitat. Payara, especially a large Payara, it's going to strike fast, it's going to strike hard, and it's going to use this current to its advantage. So I have to be ready. Just feeling a lot of strong pulls on the bait. This is a really good spot. This is the perfect spot. Everything Payara like is right here.
Tức là lúc về nhà chỉ chụp ảnh riêng không thôi chứ.
Fish on! Got a fish! I don't want it to break my line. This line's tough, but if it rubs against the rocks, I'll lose the fish. It's fighting like a Payara. It's not shaking its head. Oh, feels like a big fish. I need to move. The line's gonna get cut on the rock. This could be the biggest fish yet. Oh, it's making a run. Oh, this feels like a good sized fish. I can feel it shaking its head. Payara! Payara! Oh, awesome. Woo! The fish is big. It's the biggest Payara I've seen so far. And this is why I'm here. This whole trip is putting the clues together, and now to find this spot that I thought would yield a big fish, and here it is. I want to get a closer look. Look at this, man. Big Payara, just below these waterfalls in the fast-flowing water. This is an impressive fish. I'm guessing 3 feet long. Those fangs, look at the teeth. I'm so excited at this point, I forget that I'm handling a fish that has huge teeth. I'm waist deep in a river full of giant predators. The Payara uses its needle-sharp, sword-like fangs.
Chụp mấy cái để sống.
This is a big fish and it still has a lot of strength. I'm getting a closer look at the fish, and the fish, which is still alive, makes a lunge. Those teeth come close to my face. That's why I need to be very careful with this fish. The Payara's fangs, they're designed to spear prey, but they could also do some damage to my hand. If I'm careful, I can finally put together all the pieces of the puzzle. Is this extreme environment the reason that this fish looks this way? Look at the body. Look how it's adapted to this environment. It's counter-shaded, dark on top, light on the bottom, like a great white shark. This is perfect camouflage for a fish. When it's below prey, the darker back blends into the river bottom. If it's above prey, a prey looking up might not notice it because the light belly blends in with the lighter sky. Payara also has iridescent scales, very shiny scales, silver and green. You look at the environment behind me, imagine all the bubbles and foam in the water. Those iridescent scales provide the perfect camouflage. It's in environments like this that the Payara truly excels as a predator. I can imagine it. Sitting in deep, turbulent water, perhaps sitting in eddies, using those large eyes to look for the silhouettes of fish above. Counter-shading to give it perfect camouflage, and then the streamlined body that allows it quick bursts of speed to attack. And that's when the huge teeth come into play. Payara opens its mouth, huge gape, spearing and killing its prey. Now it all makes sense. Payara can hunt in different parts of the river, but it's here, in this fast-flowing water, that they really thrive. This is the perfect hunting ground, and the place where Payara can get to their full size. I finally understand why this fish looks as freaky as it does. It looks this way because it has to. In this extreme environment, this fish rules.